If you simply go on doing lots of yoga, but don't remove your illusions, you don't want to get over your pride or inflated ego. All that you do, you're just doing lots of things, so many exercises, so many pranayams, and you write them down in your diary, all that you have done, and go every now and then ask, have I succeeded? Where am I? If nobody says anything, you build up your own image. I'm already enlightened. Om Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham Malam Sharirasya Cha Vaidyakena Yopa Karotatam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi. I offer adorations to the best of sages, Sage Patanjali, who gave to the world the scripture of yoga for purifying the chitta, the mind stuff, and the scripture of Vaidyaka, Ayurvedic medicine, for purifying the body, and that of grammar, for purifying the speech. I give a special nodding on this. It gives you an idea of the ideal that must be kept before everyone. Your body-mind set is the basis for your spiritual movement. That's what called health. So, therefore, Patanjali Maharshi gave a special insight into how to maintain good health. And that's elaborated through yoga practice, asanas, pranayams, etc. So when you practice Hatha Yoga, that's the focus, to possess healthy body with a sound mind. But if you have good healthy body and all that, but his tongue is unhealthy. Works like a snake. Puts out venom. Then you are not really healthy. You are creating negative karmas for yourself and you are hurting others. The purpose of grammar is not meant just to become literary. Sage Patanjali's grammar was not meant just to become a literary scholar, but to allow what comes into your heart, the ability to express it eloquently, spontaneously, boldly. Certain meanings I'm just giving you on top, like the icings. But the main focus is how to deal with the mind, how to lead the mind to enlightenment. That's the central purpose of all scriptures. In the first chapter of Raja Yoga, known as Samadhi Pada, presently I am dealing with the Sutra number 22. Sage Patanjali outlined the practice of yoga in a very succinct statements. The outline is Shraddha, develop faith. You come into the world with faith already. Try to work upon it, to allow that faith to have a vision. If you allow that faith to unfold, blossom, you discover amazing strength within yourself. What people interpret as self-confidence. People develop self-confidence to an amazing degree. If you have the inclination to climb mountains, self-confidence, I will do it. Even if the leg is broken, still I will do it. There's no scientific explanation. How can a person do it? There is something beyond human imagination. That faith begins to unfold in that way. Virya, the term, strength has different levels. Vital level, that's what majority of people go after. You see a person bouncing from mountain height into the ocean or doing something amazing with the body. People become dazzled. But there are sensitive people who become dazzled even though the person is not doing anything. He's simply sitting. Buddha, for example. He's not jumping. Simply sitting. But radiating a peace arising out of mastery over the mind. Emanating a radiation of cosmic love. That's what you see with Jesus, Buddha, all saints and sages. Imagine what type of strength is needed to conquer the mind, anger, hate, pride, egoism, all these grip your mind. That type of strength, as I said, that strength, virya, is 3 levels: physical, mental, spiritual. If your intellect becomes intuitional, the feeling of your heart has turned into profound devotion to God, you become an instrument in divine hand. Therefore, the power that you express is beyond imagination. And yet, the appearance is of absolute humility. Look at the sun. Sun is little. Absolute humility. But the whole earth is being illumined, nourished. So the spiritual strength that you discover is attunement with God within you, a revelation that you are nothing. As individual, you are just an illusion. As a wave, you don't exist. You are the whole ocean. That's the climax of strength. As the strength begins to gather within you, Smriti, mind is constantly recollecting things. And your whole day goes into that play of recollections, whether you like it or not. You see little spider, suddenly you recollect. Yes, last year there were bigger cobwebs. You see a dwarfish person, Immediately recollect, I saw someone who was 7 feet high. Associations. Various things constantly work upon your mind. You sneeze a little, and then suddenly your memory mind works. Last year, when I sneezed so much, I had pneumonia. I'm giving you some dramatization. You have more information in that direction. But if suppose your mind moves in a positive way, your recollection will be of a positive nature. Say, for example, went to a park, look at a beautiful lake. Suddenly your mind recollects. Yes, I had similar experience last year. If you are a good practitioner of yoga, then you remember, I had that experience just yesterday. Yeah, now I'm getting a little more of it. What I'm trying to lead you to understand, that mind begins to reflect in a positive way, by giving you the outline of spiritual practice, beginning with faith, which leads you to strength that can be vital, mental, spiritual. As the strength kind of advances, your meditation, things that you constantly think about, that changes. You have better things to think of. Not rehashing the same onion, garlic in a pot. You have cured essence, rose essence, with sandal paste. I'm giving you just figurative language. When you rehash hatred, anger, or just your own sorrows, you are just keeping the bucket of your mind filled with onions and garlics. So therefore, the moment you go near somebody, you make them also feel miserable, even though you may be laughing. That's something very simple to understand, and it has a profound implications. Things that engross your mind. What should engross your mind? A mind has such amazing potentiality. Try to discipline yourself, do sadhana to experience sattvic state of mind. You have 3 states of mind: tamasic, rajasic, sattvic. Tamasic state, mind becomes exceedingly dull, feels exceedingly helpless, lonely, miserable. Rajasic, mind suddenly becomes so bright. That when you drive, you text. When you walk, you text. There's so much energy in the mind. Sattva, on the other hand, turns your mind to discover, understand the message of the sages and saints. Apply it to your own life. Enjoy the teachings and discover your inner self. It's a progressive movement. The immense joy of inner silence. Poets have been singing about it for a long time. The source of boundless inspiration lies within you. You do text, etc., all that. But now your communication with others becomes much more on a very high level. You radiate fragrance, not onion garlic, see, sandalwood. That's what we mean by smaran. Term in Rajyoga is Smriti. The process of the recall that occurs in your mind. And intentionally and with effort, you generate Ishvara-cintana. Give a time, I will do japa, repeat mantra of God. I will train myself to think of God. Do prayers. In the beginning, you are doing a prayer that saints did. And when they did, they were dancing. But when you do the prayer, you are not dancing. In the beginning, you are just trying to theoretically understand, or just it sounds melodious. It soothes. Sometimes you do it mechanically. But all that is okay. When you turn to a medicine, whether you take it singing praises of it or just throw it into your mouth. When it comes to profounder matter, whichever way you take it, it has its effect. When you repeat divine name, when you recite a mantra, a prayer, even if you are not doing it wholeheartedly, doesn't matter. That prayer has been recited by many people, and their mind has touched it. And that magic, the potency, is beyond your understanding. That Smriti, this form of Ishvara-cintana, that will take a long time if I were to explain. As mind begins to become involved with thinking of God, inquiry into who am I? That's the whole subject of Vedanta. I am neither body nor mind. Immortal self am I. The entire universe reflects in me. Consciousness is like a vast lake. The entire world of time, space, and causation shimmers, rather reflects. Nothing of this is real. When you are experiencing dreams, so many things are there. The whole universe is there for you. You wake up. What happened? They were all reflecting in your consciousness. Same thing is happening. If your mind gets involved with Ishvara-cintana, Godward mind, you begin to develop expansion in consciousness. Consciousness that is so limited. I'm not talking of the absolute consciousness. Human consciousness is conditioned by mind, senses. All that you view, think of the world is on the basis of your nervous system, your brain, and on the basis of your ego, etc. But when you do samadhi, when you constantly meditate, allow your mind to turn to God, consciousness expands beyond the expectations of your ego. You become surprised. I was thinking of going to a pilgrimage center, but the pilgrimage center opened within my heart right here. I don't have to go anywhere. Your consciousness expands. How much can it expand? It can enfold the entire universe. When that experience dawns in you, your intellect undergoes a change. All the time your intellect is changing, gradual. When faith entered your heart, your intellect became sensitive. So you are not moving into a dull-wit situation. And when you develop strength, now your intellect stares at your ego and says, keep quiet. Is not deluded by your ego. You can have an objective study of yourself. And that changed your intellect. At this level, as the strength develops, as the mind becomes more and more engrossed in thinking of God, intellect now has developed a different appearance. It has put on necklace. It is adored, embellished. So intellect goes on changing. When you enter into samadhi, superconscious, which comes to you in glimpses, but each time there is that experience of expansion, your intellect flutters. Deep down, intellect is intuition, divine intuition. It begins to wake up. It sounds like a larva waking up into a butterfly. That's called Prajna. The intellect at this stage, having emerged out of samadhi, the term is used, Prajna, intuitive intellect. Once that intellect becomes your intellect, you are liberated. Sthita Prajna, Gita uses. Your movement on the spiritual path is along these points: Shraddha, virya, Smriti, Samadhi. Two important elements needed in your progress: Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasa means repeated practice. First, try to understand certain things needed in your day-to-day life that will enrich you. Simple points that everyday life should be lived by you in a rhythmic pattern. Be a musician, not just for the fingers. But your life should have a rhythm to it. A time to wake up, a time to go to sleep, a time for prayer. Doing all things in a rhythmic way. You can go on doing it and find more time to do it if you have that type of discipline. Otherwise, you do it in an abrupt way, too much one day, too little another day. And while doing it, constantly imagining when will be the holidays. To run to see a waterfall. That is to understand the plan of sadhana and evolve that plan, which will bring in your daily life 4 yogas: karma yoga, your ability to do your daily duties, whatever type of duties you have, jobs, whatever you do, and not be in contradiction with what you do. Have a deeper philosophy. God has not placed you abruptly in a certain situation. Thereby, he will not be omniscient if he does so. So for his own sake. Therefore, whatever situation you are facing, instead of losing your energy in regretting about it, fighting against it, figure out how can you draw from your faiths, how can you be patient, repeat the mantra, even this will pass away. So many difficult things have passed away. And when difficulties pass away, you are more proud to say to people, how did you conquer your weaknesses, your adversities? So in brief, create a pattern of abhyasa. So I was talking about karma yoga, how to do your duty well. Turn to another level. While doing your duty, how to allow your feeling to undergo a change. How to develop devotion to God. But sometimes people don't understand what it means. They think that they have to develop a feeling that is not in the world. The world belongs to the Satan, you see. So. The real meaning is, in all relations, how can you bring your feeling to a profounder, more sincerity with it? Your heart opens with it. And allow the good feeling of your heart to touch others. Your feeling should be of generosity, of magnanimity, of understanding, of patience. Because these are the things that will be admired by people who are close to you as well as people who are not so close. Even your relatives, ultimately they are proud if when they are really touched by your good quality. If they are not touched by your good quality, but by only your fingers twisting their ears. That's a lower level. How to develop quality of feeling? That should be an engrossing project in life. How much can be possible? Your feeling has the possibility of unfold God. That's dramatized in the story of Krishna. The moment your feeling rises to a high level of purity, you draw God like a magnet. In Krishna's story, you create butter, and Krishna steals it. And those who created the butter, they watch how Krishna comes and steals it, and they're so happy about it. Good feeling within you should create the butter. If good feeling goes on rising higher, you realize every human being at the core is your very self. If you have not understood your own self in a profound way, then consider it is God. Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani. All these bulbs have only one source of light. That source is more universal. All human beings have only one source, the divine backing, the divine source. So when you love a person and do kind things, whether it is recorded or not, whether people have seen it or not, it has brought a change within you. And that doesn't apply only to human beings, even to animals, birds. You are walking by and you are able to help an animal, help a bird to stand up on its legs. Nobody has seen it. You never texted it to anyone. The act of kindness enriches you in such a way that rather you feel obliged to people, to situations that allow your heart to have generosity in it. When you come to that level, that's called saintly level. Instead of building up the idea, how great am I? I have helped so many people. And go on building up that ego. If you do that, then that's completely opposed to a spiritual movement. You are simply inflating your ego for no reason. The ego didn't do anything. That's what I'm talking about, the world of feeling. That's the project of bhakti yoga, love of God. So love of God is not just confined in churches or temples. It is something to be brought out in your life. And everyday life presents occasions, opportunities. Sometimes opportunity of a mild, very ordinary way. Someone looked at you insultingly. You didn't look back with more insulting. Rather, you didn't record in your mind as something abnormal. You continued to be what you are. Very simple thing. But in that act, you are allowing your feeling to be glorified, giving dignity to your feeling. So much so you realize your feeling is meant for God. Come to third level. That's Raj Yoga. Yoga of meditation. Meditation implies developing the practice of focused state of attention. Many people don't have, they have not practiced it. Only time they become exceedingly focused when there is something negative. If there is nothing negative, they use the imagination to make it negative. There's a downward trend. But come up to more practical level, learn the art of doing yoga exercises, doing pranayams, things that impact on your mind. Staying with your japa, mantra, looking at the picture of a deity or any ideal, allowing your eyes to stay unwinking. That just gives you a suggestion how the mind will become gradually focused. But don't strain your eyes. Close your eyes and try to allow your mind to focus on Rama, Krishna, Jesus, whomsoever. But don't go on changing the object of your meditation too fast. Otherwise, then you are not focusing. So allow the mind to stay focused. If you succeed even for a short duration, you will yourself experience the benefit. A mind that has experienced just 15 minutes of quietness early in the morning will face the day in a very joyous way. The day will be enriching. Everything will attend to with more, in a deeper level. So, I'm just giving the idea of meditation. To give you a simple way to understand, when we talk of meditation, there are 3 stages: concentration, meditation, and samadhi. I'm using an old type illustration. Suppose you are in a place somewhere in a forest, and it is, for some reason, or rather you want to cook something, you want fire, and you happen to have a lens. There is no matchsticks or what. There's nothing to create fire. So the simple method is bring some little dry twigs and use your lens, if you have magnifying glass or whatever, and create focused light of the sun through that lens, right on the fuel. In the beginning, the first stage, you are trying to create the focus. Second stage, do nothing. Allow the focused state to bring solar energy to work upon the fuel. Third stage, still do nothing. Watch the miracle. Fire emerges. In the same way, first state of process of concentration means first state concentration. Allow your mind, instead of running the past, running the future, running in all directions from pumpkin to parliament. Try to close up its circle of running. Bring it closer. Let it run, but in a smaller circle, until it comes to a certain focus. Absolute focus is not possible. Whatever degree you succeed, once you have brought the mind to a focus, stay with it. Now you will suddenly become aware, just like ignition has taken place. Something that you never felt before. Because all human feeling is so dependent upon stressful nerves that you don't have the experience of a feeling without using the nerves. A feeling that makes you float, makes you fly. In a figurative way, you soar, lose all your bodily tensions. Anyway, that's samadhi. That's what's called Raja Yoga. Concentration, meditation, samadhi. In everyday life, you bring in these 4 yogas, little by little. Karma yoga, how to do my duties well. Bhakti yoga, how to be good to others. Not be constantly focused on why aren't they good to me. Turn it around. And how can I give attention? Continuous. If you are a student studying certain subject, how to allow your mind to get into that subject without being distracted. Every moment, every time you face certain situation, it gives you an opportunity for your mind to be focused. Allow your mind to be focused more and more and more. And then comes Jnana Yoga. Allow your intellect to be inspired. When you go for a walk and you begin to enjoy, you had not planned to let your mind catch higher thoughts. Probably the thoughts catch you. So, how to allow your mind to understand the immensity of the soul within you, the soul that created the body like magic, brought out your body into the world in a mysterious way, sustains your body, looks after all the complicated processes, nervous system, brain, and all types of things. What is that soul? Who am I? And allowing your mind to understand that I am in you is divine. Satchidananda, existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. I am, that am I. That's the central core of all religions of the world. That's what we mean by coming closer to God within you. All these to be brought in your day-to-day life just in a very simple way. An ounce of this, an ounce of that. Take a blend of these four, a few ounces early in the morning. Don't take it literally. I'm just talking about how to bring it in your life day by day. If you missed it, do it again. Never allow your mind to just stay with regretting or blaming someone. Say, I plan to live my life in a most wonderful way. Look at that miserable one. Because of that person, I can't do it. There are certain things that you have to get rid of. This ego playing tricks with human beings. So where am I? Now, coming to the present sutra. Abhyasa, all these points are to be practiced day by day. That along with it, Vairagya. Vairagya is you are getting detached. When certain illusions break, don't go after it. Allow yourself to advance on the path of Vairagya. That point we have discussed before. Just to give you simple points, as your mind advances, you begin to reflect upon so many troubles that everyone has to suffer from. Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, dosha, anudarshanam. The very birth process is painful. Disease, sickness, aging, death. You allow your mind to understand mortality of your body. Allow your mind to also understand that while the body has mortality, your soul, you are soul. As soul, you are not mortal. That vision that I am not the body, that I am not dependent upon the sense pleasure, I am not dependent upon various illusions. So as illusions break, dependence on the world moves away. You are developing vairagya. intensity of practice along with increasing vairagya, that is the formula for quick success. But you can understand that these 2 points, Abhyasa, practice, vairagya, detachment, each one comes under 3 categories. Mridu, Madhya, Adhimatrat, Matravat, Tatopi, Vishesha. Mild, moderate, intense. You can have mild practice, mild vairagya, mild dispassion. Naturally, it will be a slow movement. You will have a mild practice, but you have more vairagya, dispassion. You are a little better. You have more vairagya, more practice. And the more term goes on increasing. So therefore, you come into different categories of aspirants. Aspirants in whom there is increasing vairagya, increasing abhyasa, they are on a higher level. And they are succeeding faster. Everyone succeeds, but how much, how quickly, how intensely will succeed will depend upon the intensity of these 2 points. Your dedication to repeated practice day by day without fail. And your inward clarity of understanding. Thereby you always, once you have realized certain habit of yours is negative, you are not going back to it. Once your way of looking at things have been found defective, you transcend it. Vairagya, you go on detaching. I'll just give you one parable I've given before also. Once some priests of a temple came to know that great celebration was occurring across the river. Temples were here, temples were there. The other temples on that side were preparing wonderful laddus, very sweet things and festive things. And when then they thought within themselves that they would cross over the river and have a nice feast. But somehow they were too miserly. Because there was a boat that carried them from one side to the other, but they had to pay. But what they did, they waited for the night. During the night, the boat simply stays in one place and nobody there. So a group of them, 4 or 5 of them, planned that in the night they will enter into the boat, row the boat, and without paying anything, cross the river and will join the party. So they did. And they rowed and rowed. They came in the night by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And they rowed and came. Now it's 4 o'clock, 4:30. And little darkness is lifting up. The outline of the bank remains the same. One brother says, it looks like it's the same place where we started. The other one says, well, every bank looks the same way. We did whole night, so we have come to the other side. While they were talking, they see more things that were, and they realized they didn't go anywhere. And then while they were puzzled, one of them got a little bit intellect and said, look, we forgot to untie Both. If you simply go on doing lots of yoga, but don't remove your illusions, if you don't want to get over your pride or inflated ego, all that you do, you're just doing lots of things, so many exercises, so many pranayams, and you write them down in your diary, all that you have done, and go every now and then ask, have I succeeded? Where am I? If nobody says anything, you build up your own image. I'm already enlightened. But you have not gone anywhere. With this, I will conclude. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.